Alright, now we got it in sport mode. I can tell already this bike is way more comfortable than my 2016 Multistrada that I had for a few years. My wife and I rode 700 miles in 24 hours on that Multistrada, and after that I couldn't get her on a bike for another couple years. You know, they sell a comfort seat for that Multistrada. It's a $1,000 upgrade. This bike comes with a great seat right out of the gate. Oops, I guess we're not going that way. This is good, what I call neutral riding position. Mid controls, bars are up nicely. The one real surprise I had about this bike is got a steel tank, which I think is a real plus. Lever pull on the brake and clutch is really nice, really light. So this is the special. It comes with the laced wheel upgrade, the adaptive ride height, semi-active suspension, it's really a nicely set up bike. I think a lot of dealers are going to use these initial deliveries of the Pan America as demo bikes, which is smart. You know, they're not getting a lot of them in initially, but I think they could order and get them delivered in a month or two's time, probably. Fairly short order.
What do you think?
It's great.
Fits you a lot better than me.
Yeah. I always like to be able to flat foot these bikes. But if you've watched in my videos about this bike, I've been saying all along that this is going to be a huge seller for Harley. And this bike is a lot better than I even had hoped for. I could say with what I know about the bike and my just short time with it here on this demo, I think I like it way better than the Multistrada. I like the looks of it better than the Multistrada, that's for sure. Now, you know, this bike isn't for everybody. If you're into air-cooled touring and cruiser bikes, this is obviously a different style. But I think this is just simply a sport touring bike in adventure clothing. Most people aren't going to do any serious off-roading on a bike like this, although it's nice to have the capability to do so. If you live out in the Midwest or South, there's a lot of times where people might have a mile or two of gravel to get to their house off the pavement. You don't want to take an 830-pound touring bike on that stuff, I can tell you that. This bike would do just fine.
The road gets real bad right here. It'll grab your tires a little bit, but you can still feel how it reacts that way.
Okay.
And then when you get on the freeway and get up the freeway, speed going back.
All right, good. Although the urban environment's quite the adventure these days anyway. Look at this road. It's all milled and pretty rough. Oh, the suspension's handling this rough road just nice. Just fine. Alright, I gotta let her get ahead here. Oh yeah. This has got the grunt. So I've said before, I think that Pan America is going to be a great seller for Harley Davidson. So who do I think would be the ideal customer for that bike? I'd say somebody who's looking for a sport tour, not necessarily looking for a true off-road bike, because I think very few people use those bikes in that capacity. If you were, you're likely to get a dual purpose or a much smaller adventure bike, something that weighs maybe 100, 150 pounds less than a 550 pound bike. It would be a good second bike. It'd be a good touring bike, mostly solo. I think if you're going to do a lot of long distance touring, you can't beat the comfort that a Road Glide or Street Glide has. I think this bike opens up a lot of possibilities for Harley. Other liquid cooled bikes, smaller version of this bike, maybe the 950 Bronx engine in a Pan America, smaller version of the Pan America, sort of like the Ducati does. They've got a 950 Multistrada, as well as their bigger 1260 Multistrada. I'd be curious if Harley would ever put electric motor in one of these bikes. That'd be an interesting possibility. Yeah, I think if anyone would ever take a bike to Mars, this bike's got the looks for it. I really like the looks of this. Kind of Mad Max, post-apocalyptic look to it. I think it's really cool. As I've stated in my previous videos about Pan America, I think Harley Davidson has a great advantage when it comes to selling this adventure style bike compared to BMW and Ducati. BMW and Ducati dealerships are few and far between. Typically you only have one of those if you're living in a major metropolitan area. And I think a lot more people are just going to get exposed to this type of bike by virtue of it being available at Harley dealerships. So what do you think? Would you be inclined to get a Pan America or say another liquid cooled offering from Harley Davidson? Because I think this is just the beginning of sportier, higher performing bikes that'll be coming out for sale. So thanks for watching, everyone.